So I think first to share, thank you so much for one, trusting me to be your advisor on this journey of life, and just all the things that you've allowed me to feel in this experience together of supporting you, guiding you, and just, journeying through this life together. Like, I feel so proud of you. And I also feel a deep level of excitement about who you are and where you're going to be and the difference you're going to make in humanity. So today is really just to share some of that experience. So I think I kind of want to say, like, what made you consider working with me?
Yeah, so I think for me, what made me consider working with you was, I mean, one, I think like initially when so something had happened to me previously that I think changed a lot of my life in terms of career, in terms of my direction, in terms of, just I think where I was trying to be in life. And so I really wanted to be able to speak with someone and be advised by someone like a life coach. And I was obviously super new to it and didn't really know, I guess, like what to be looking out for. So I was obviously really happy when our mutual friend Elena told me a little bit about what you do. And I think what made me interested in working with you was that it wasn't just a coaching session where, it's like almost like therapy session. I would say it's a lot more holistic than that, where, there's parts about, like, the first main part about, nutrition and what I'm actually putting in my body that's going to be affecting my energy and how my energy is going to be transitioning, being transferred to the things that I do and how I am in the world. And, it's all sort of connected. So I think that was definitely the reason why I chose you to work with. Obviously with your experience, with the program that you shared with me as well, I felt like it was really aligned to what I was looking for.
And can you share a little bit about like where you were when we started, and where you how you kind of used my roadmap, right? The energy reset recipe to transition from where you were started to where you are now?
Yeah, so I think when I think back to where I was at the start, I was, I think now I look at ingredient labels, like when we talk about the nutrition part first specifically.
Yeah.
I look at ingredient labels so differently now because, when at that stage, I mean, I was still eating like processed food and I wasn't really looking after my health, and anything that would say organic or like, I don't know, sugar free or whatever it is, like whatever, marketing label there
Yeah.
was, I
Yeah.
would be like, yeah, that's what I like.
That's healthy.
Yeah, this is gonna be good for me. But then realizing that there's actually just so many things to consider when you are shopping for, these products, like just in terms of like when you see sugar, for example, when you see like emulsifiers, when you see like, just other like processed things in there that you don't normally notice because you're just looking at like the label at the front. So I think ingredient labels is definitely one. I also found that smoothie recipe that you provided was super helpful because, I think normally when I'd make a smoothie, it's like you just put in some fruit and maybe some like water and, I mean, that's me. I don't know about everybody else. So I think to like understand that, hey, it's actually like, one part greens, one part fruit, one part your booster, one part like your liquid. I thought that was like a really important lesson. So I was able to take that away and like have that in the morning for myself. And I feel like energized by that. And yeah, I think also just seeing a difference in my gut, because I think one of the things I shared with you is that I was quite bloated. And then you were sharing how, like, it's all kind of connected. So I was also not feeling like clarity in like mental clarity. And so I think to look after your gut also will look after your mind. And so one of the issues I had was about bloating, just not having great gut health. And so I think that going on that initial 2 weeks where I was living on the human being diet, it really helped to reduce that. And I'm still enjoying these benefits. Like I don't have to suck in my stomach as much anymore, which is great. But yeah, so I think that also really helped me, and I could see a difference in how I was feeling overall.
Beautiful. And what I love about you is because you understand the wellness industry very well, and yet you were still open to growing and learning and being open to seeing it through a completely new lens as well. But then what I love about you most, Sarah, is your commitment to the next stage of the journey, which is when we go from kind of like, fine tuning the outside of us through diet and exercise to the inner world. And I always say that the most important is actually the inner work, right? Because that's what really shifts so that you don't sabotage, that you can maintain and sustain everything that we've done working together, and that you actually not just change your life, but you change the lives of everybody around you. So can you tell me a little bit about how that's been for you, that inner work journey?
Yeah, so I think with the inner work side of things, I was always like trying to, I think the main thing for me was like, what is my purpose? And like I have all of these, things that I went through that I feel has like really hurt me as a person. And I never really understood, well, firstly, how to find that purpose for one, but then also like how do I actually process these things? Because I think for many years it was more about, okay, if I just like keep pushing forward, like this will eventually just go away and it will just be like, a distant memory or whatever. But there are some things that have happened to me in the past that, just don't, it's never gone away. So I think on the inner work side of things, it was really good to get like proper, like firstly, a proper understanding that these triggers that I have in my day can all be connected to something in my past. Like not like, obviously like a whole heap of things, but like I think the interesting point you made was about that it can be connected to, like 2-3 either micro or major traumas in your life. And so like making that connection and doing that rewiring exercise, I think really helped me to find a way to actually process it. Like it's not perfect, it has to continue to be worked on, and like I still try to work on it here and there, but it's like it helped me to at least like I could feel a difference in that I was actually working towards a better mindset about things, where I didn't feel like I even knew where to start with that.
Yeah. And to me, you're like a different person. So you've done so well on that. So well done. So what would you say to the person that is like, oh, I know I should probably do some investment on myself, but I don't know, I've not really got much time and I don't think I can afford it. What would you say to that? That's like my common objections.
Yeah, I would say that I think for me, if you are looking for something that can give you a more holistic coverage on yourself, what you're looking for, where you want to be, and how you can be your better self, I think that it is an investment worth making in yourself. I would also say that it is a program where if you are just expecting to be advised and like, how do I say, like that you're just expecting to be advised and it's just more like, okay, you're like, she's just going to give me like all the information. Yeah. I don't think that is like, I think it has to do a lot with you as well, like coming. So I think that was one of the challenges I had, because I was sort of like, oh, I don't know whether like this is something I can bring up or this is something I can talk about, and oh, nothing like really major has happened, but I think that the communication is really open, so you have to be the one to bring up these things as well. And so I think having that two-way thing is going to be very important, together with just like the whole, I guess it's a much more holistic sort of program that you're going to be on.
I love that, Sarah, because actually I've never heard that been said in that way before. And you're so right, because there was a moment that you went from the old style that I'm trying to get people away from, which is where information is just downloaded on you and you're overwhelmed with all this information, but you don't know what to do with it. And there was a moment where you went from seeing me as a teacher to seeing me as a trusted advisor and partner with you on this journey. And that, I remember that moment where it changed, and then we have this two-way thing. And I think I saw you literally compound and fast track in terms of how you were handling, dealing with things. So yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
definitely.
Beautiful. Well, I want to say thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. You know, like my clients for me are just like, I mean, like I always feel like I've got a little piece of my heart still with them at all times. So you know, I'm always here for you whenever you need. These things are going to come up. Life is like, you know, we're not just boxes, right? It's just contained in this moment, right? But I want to thank you for sharing and just giving that for words of wisdom for other people that are on that journey. You know, I have a serious mission to really help the leaders of the future to change humanity. And I know that starts with them optimizing their own energy first, and then being that magnetic ripple effect through the work that we do together. So thank you so much for giving those words of wisdom to them as well.
No worries.
All right. I'll speak to you soon. You take care.
Okay.
Bye.